the work that you put in, the sacrifices that you make. So when I'm sitting up there making sacrifices, when we make sacrifices and understanding, man, what type of father that we want to deliver to our children, right? When we sit up there and say, man, you know what? I'm going to allocate some time out of my day and figure out what type of father that I'm going to deliver to my children. That means that I'm taking time, right? The most valuable asset, because time cannot be duplicated, just like we cannot be duplicated. Time can't be duplicated. So when I take time invested into me understanding what type of father that I want to deliver to my children, that is a sacrifice. So now I'm saying, man, I expect the relationship to be positive. Why? Because I'm starting with me. I'm not giving my children any old father. I'm thinking about what type of father that I'm going to give them. So what did we discuss yesterday? We said that, man, we're going to go ahead and reflect. We reflect on our experiences that we had with our parents. You know, the positive interactions that produced the positive feelings inside of us. And then what are we going to do with the positive interactions that our parents had with us that produced the positive feelings? We're going to duplicate that. That means that we are going to intentionally give that to our children. So then that means that we reflect on our history, on our past, and say that, man, you know what? I'm going to give my children that same right that was given to me. Even if it was just one right, you can look back in your history and you can say, man, it was hell. Okay, well, in the middle of that hell, what was right in the middle of that hell? Was it one right? And that's what we're going to build on, is that one right. So we're going to make sure that your children at least get that one right that your parents did with you when you were younger. Right? So then that puts you in a good position to establish this strong, positive relationship. But that takes time and it takes effort. It's the will. Like, it's the will to be the father that you need to be. So that's where we started at, remember? Right? And then after we looked at the positive, then what did we do? We duplicated the positive, then we identified the negative. So if you said that, man, it was a lot of negative, then guess what? Now you got a lot of identifying to do. And now you got to make sure that all of that negative that you was talking about that happened when you were a child, that made you feel negatively on the inside, you got to make sure that your children don't experience that same negative, because you understand that it was poison for you. It made you sick when you were a child. It's going to make your children sick now while they are children. So it is on you to intentionally resist from giving your children the negative. I didn't like it when I used to look out in the audience or in the stands and my father or my mother wasn't there. It made me feel abandoned, right? I didn't like it. It made me feel like I was in it by myself, like nobody was interested in what I had to do. So now when your children are children, you are going to say, I'm going to resist the temptation to miss what they got going on. When they are at football practice, when they are at a football game, when they are at a basketball game, when they are at a dance recital, I'm going to be in the audience, I'm going to be in the stands, like, there you go, boy, that's what I'm talking about. There you go, daughter, do your thing, right? I'm going to show them the support that I didn't get when I was a child, because I already understand what type of feeling that produces. Does that make sense? It's like being intentional. It's like saying, man, I'm going to use my mind to serve the relationship between me and my children. That means that I'm not going to be on autopilot. But if we don't intentionally resist that negative will surface in our parenting unconsciously, because it's a part of us. So we got to make sure that we say, no, that is not about to enter into the relationship between me and my children because of what it did with me when I was younger. My children are not about to get that same exact thing. No way possible. Why? Because I am serious about being a father. I am serious about the destination of my children. I am designing the destination of my children. It's all design. I'm designing the type of father that I want to be. It's all design, right? I'm not just giving them any old father. Because if I give them any old father, then how can I expect them to be a successful adult? They're not. They're going to be any old adult, doing any old thing, ending up in any old place. So it starts with me. So when I make that decision, that starts to raise the level of my expectations. Because I'm making a decision on what type of father that I'm going to be with my children. I'm making a decision to focus on the relationship between me and my children and saying that if I have a positive relationship between me and my children, that will give me the influence that I need for them to be able to access all of the information that I have. What is the information that I have? I want them to take all of my failures and make sure that they understand them so then they don't duplicate my failures, because I already know my failures to be failures. I don't want them to commit the same failures. I want them to commit new failures. If they commit new failures, then that means that they will be further than I currently am. I don't want them to be doing the same old failures that I've done in my past right now in the current present. Because if they are, then that means that I failed in transferring the information. I failed in making sure that I had the relationship to be able to get them to be influenced by my word. Because when I say, man, you know what, you're not going to be able to make it like that. That's not going to get you to where you want to be. I tried that before. Yeah, I tried to do that way before, and it didn't work. And if I had the influence, then they would be like, man, hey, bro just told me that it wasn't going to work. Dad told me it wasn't going to work. I ain't going to try it that way. I'm going to try it another way. But that's only accomplished through a strong, positive relationship. So that's why we focused on that. That's why we focus on establishing that strong, positive relationship. But it takes work. We got to be focused on that. If we're not focused on that, it won't just happen. The reason why it won't just happen because of the benefit of a strong, positive relationship. Strong, positive relationships is paradise. Weak relationships are hell. You cannot get things accomplished through a weak relationship. Because it offers so much resistance, because it's barriers between you and your children. Your children will not take your word. Your children won't follow your direction because they don't like you. They can't access all of the information that you got. And you got a lot of information because you've been in this world. You got experience. You got a wealth of experience. And that's what gives our children the benefit. That what puts our children at an advantage when they can access our experiences. That means, man, hold up. I put 3 spoons of sugar in the lemonade and it tasted like that. Nope. I put 6 spoons of sugar in the lemonade and it tasted like this. No, the right amount is 4.5. I don't want my children to come at the lemonade when they making it and putting 3 and 6 because I already figured that out. It's not going to produce the results that they want. I want them to come straight in, right, and put the 4.5. And figure out something else now. Now they can figure out how to make tea. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want them spending time tasting the 3 spoons of sugar in the lemonade and say, oh, this stuff nasty. I already did that. I don't want them trying the 6 spoons and say, oh, this stuff don't work. It's too sweet, right? I want them to come straight in and put 4.5 because they are taking my information because of the relationship that I have with them. So they ain't got to waste the time. Didn't we say time is the most valuable asset because it can't be duplicated? Once it's gone, it's gone. So we want to make sure that we value our time. Why do we want to value our time? Because you can look into your bank account and see how much money you got. You can look into your pockets and see how much money you got, right? But you cannot go nowhere on the face of this earth and see how much time you got. That's what makes it more valuable than anything, because you just don't know how much of it you got. So what are you doing with it? Literally, what are you doing with it? I invest my time. I don't spend it. I invest. I don't spend. I invest. I don't spend. I want to invest more of my time. So my time is an investment. When I'm coming here, brother, it's an investment. I'm investing my time. Because I want this certain type of world where the penitentiary's on his head and the community's on